Hey, Trev, it's Trevor Groves from CUTires.com here. So you said last week that you really try not to let the whole streak affect your decision making and your throws, but I'm sure it must be somewhat of a relief that you won't have to hear about the streak from us media guys anymore going forward.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, obviously that would have been a cool thing. I didn't want to throw an interception all year. That was kind of something that I was thinking about. But like at the end of the day, I think I played well, and mentally, I think I was locked in and made the correct reads, all those things. So it's just football. Like I said, it's going to happen. But yeah, I guess there's a plus side to it too.
Hey Trevor, it's David. Just a quick question. Do you have any kind of a relationship with Peyton Manning right now other than the fact that you've seen him at a camp? I mean, do you guys talk or text or have any kind of a relationship?
I mean, we'll text back and forth every now and then. You know, not too often, but he'll send me something or vice versa every now and then. So somewhat, but we don't necessarily talk on a regular basis.
What was it like when you first, met him? I remember he had the comment. He was like, "Well, he stared at me a lot." That Peyton Manning, sense of humor, talking about you out on the field. But what was it like for you when you first just met him? And was it everything you wanted it to be? Was he different? And were you able to pick his brain at all?
I don't remember staring at him a lot, honestly, but yes, to me, just a normal person. I mean, he's an awesome football player. I think he's lived his life in a way that is something you can admire. Just from I've never really heard anything bad about him. I think he's always really handled himself in a good manner with respect. So that's something that I look up to, and then just obviously his success in the field speaks for itself. But other than that, I mean, to me, it's just a normal person. I didn't really, get a chance to pick his brain. Like I said, besides that one phone call we had, I think my freshman year, that was really the only time we talked ball a lot and really got into it. So, but I mean, other than that, at the end of the day, I know a lot of people label that my idol. It's not at all. I don't put that on any person. I don't have any idols, but definitely a person that's lived his life in a way that I look up to and respect for sure.
Did you wear 16 because of him, though?
Yes and no. I mean, he was, when I was a kid, he was a quarterback, my favorite quarterback, and I got to middle school, and I was always wear number 5 or number 9 when I was a kid, and got to middle school and they didn't have either of the numbers, so I was like, I guess I'll wear number 16, and it just kind of stuck from there. So I guess that's probably why I picked 16, but it really wasn't my first choice when I was at that point.
And I apologize for dominating the conversation here early, but you talked about how he lives his life the way he wants to live it. And he is very unabashed, whether it's his humor or what he wants to say. Is that something that you've kind of taken on yourself even more this season, that I'm just going to be Trevor Lawrence and I'm going to talk about social justice and I'm going to talk about my play and let people see more of who I am rather than kind of have that guard up?
Yeah, I think that's something that you just kind of figure out as you navigate through all the craziness of being, an athlete at somewhere like Clemson, and then hopefully one day NFL, all those things. I think that's just something you kind of slowly figure out more and more, how to, be yourself also and have some privacy though at the same time. So it's kind of, there's a fine line. But I think I'm trying, I'm figuring that out and I'm getting better, but it's definitely not an easy thing all the time.
Hey, Trevor, it's Anna with Clemson 24/7. Just kind of in that same vein, have you had a chance to see any of Arch Cooper, his nephew, play at all in the 2023 class? Or our training?
Yeah, I saw. I think I saw maybe the first half last week when they played. I think that might have been Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. I think it was Thursday night. So I see the first half of that game, and I mean he played really well. He's gonna be a ball. So it was cool to see. That family just keeps on pumping out football players.
Trevor, I'm Greg Logan from New York Newsday. I was wondering about your decision last summer to go ahead and step forward and advocate for college football to happen this year, and then plus the social justice and so on. What went into that decision, and what kind of courage did that take on your part, do you think?
I mean, I think it's just obviously the football thing is that's what we do. It's something that we all love and that we care about a lot. And when that's kind of threatened to get taken away from you, you feel like you got to do something. And obviously we have a voice, and felt like we could make an impact on that situation. And then all the social justice things in the spring and summer, that was for me. I mean, it was more about just showing my teammates and my friends and people I care about that I care about them, and that it's important to me, that things that they struggle with, even though I don't necessarily, is important to me. You know, I don't want to just turn a blind eye. So that was the biggest thing there, is just showing support, showing I care about them, and you know, sacrificing a little bit for them, even though, you know, that's not necessarily a lot to send out a tweet or to say something. It's still something that's showing that I'm supporting them.
And Coach Swinney talked about your leadership and your kind of personal humility and so on, and how you set a good example for the team. Do you have a philosophy that goes into your thoughts about how to lead the team? And secondly, after this season, you're going to wind up someplace that hasn't been successful and that is going to need leadership. Have you thought about the difficulty you'll face going someplace that has to build from the ground up?
Yeah, I guess I'll start with your first question.
Right.
I think just the way I operate and the way I try to, you know, live my life and treat other people is just treat people how I want to be treated. And I never want to come off as that I think I'm someone that's more important than anyone else. So that's something that I've, you know, been really adamant on making sure people know around me that, you know, everyone's the same. You know, I treat everybody the same, and that's something that's really important to me. And then I think that goes into leadership as well. I think that's important for a leader, not to see themselves as, you know, higher up or better than anyone else. Everybody's on the same playing field, and that's something that I've tried to do ever since I've gotten here. And then from there, it's just, you know, that builds a level of respect between teammates, and from there you can just grow. But then your second question, I haven't really thought about it too much, honestly. I'm trying to maximize my time here. I know it's fleeting, so I'm trying to really make the most out of it. And I feel like I can't really do that if my head's somewhere else. So, you know, that's all that stuff. I'm sure there'll be a lot of things to figure out down the road, but we'll figure it out. You know, that's just kind of how I live. Is, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
Hey, Travis,
Any other
Trevor
questions?
again. Just curious what your relationship is like with Hunter Helms since he arrived on campus. Have you kind of played the big brother mentor for him, and are you surprised at his ability to grasp the offense and the playbook in such a short time and be able to come in and perform the way he did on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive for sure, especially that's something that I can't really understand, being in the position he's been in, and to perform, play well when called upon, and probably not really expecting it, is really impressive. Just shows that he's ready. And that's the thing. I mean, Coach Swinney always says you'd rather be ready and not get an opportunity than get an opportunity and not be ready. So, I mean, that's the epitome of what he was on Saturday. So that was awesome to see. And then just as far as, you know, being the most experienced guy in the room, this being my third year here, I feel like it is important to show the guys just how I do things, how I prepare, and how serious I take, you know, learning everything, but also leading, doing everything the right way, all those things. And I think Hunter's a good example of, he's really, you know, a sponge and just soaks everything up, whether that's football or whatever it may be. He's really good at that. And I've noticed that ever since he's got on campus, he's, you know, always asking questions, remembers things really well, especially in the offense. I think he just picks things up quick. So that's a really good trait to have, especially for a quarterback.
Hey, Trevor, it's Josh from the Posting Courier. What's the most impressive thing you've seen Travis do this season?
This season? I think just I feel like he's just been more of a complete player. Obviously, he's been a huge playmaker ever since he's been here, every year that I've played with him. But I think just from a run game, pass protection, receiving, and all those things, he's done a really good job of just being a complete player and being good at everything he does and making sure that he's always getting better and he works at those things. And it's been really good to see. I think protection-wise, he's done a really good job this year. And then obviously running the ball, kind of, he does his thing every time he touches the ball. So kind of speaks for itself. But then also in the passing game, I think everybody's seen. I don't know how many yards he has this year, catches, all those things, but he's done a really good job. And but yeah, we're just gonna keep getting better, and I think he's still got a lot more room to grow, which is scary. I mean, he could be even better, which is hard to believe. But we're gonna keep getting better, and it's gonna be a lot of fun this season. Seeing how we can do all those things to just get better, me and him and the whole offense.
Trevor,
Hey,
Brad
Trevor,
from Clemson. Brad from Clemson SI. When your defense forces a lot of turnovers and the way they've been playing the last 3 games, what does that do to the offense from a mentality standpoint and excitement? Kind of energizes you guys. What does it mean when the defense plays like they are with turnovers?
Just get more confidence. I mean, you're not. I guess being at Clemson, I've never had to really worry about our defense anyways, but just you have a lot of confidence in those guys that, if something happens, we don't score, we turn it over, we have to punt, any of those things, you just feel more confident that, okay, they're going to get a stop, we're going to get another chance here in a minute. So this is a lot of confidence for us. We can play more free. And then in addition to that is just always having to be ready. I mean, we were sitting on the sidelines and boom, they get a turnover, boom, we're back on the field. So it's always being ready. And when it's 4th down, we have 100% confidence that they're going to stop them. We're getting up, ready to go out there instead of just kind of waiting like, oh, they're probably going to get the first down. And our defense, I think, stopped them every time on 4th down. So that's awesome as an offense. Gives you a lot of confidence.
Hey, Trevor, this is Grace Rayner with The Athletic. I know he's a young guy, but Dabo was really talking up Joe this morning. What do we need to know about him, and what is he like just as a teammate?
Yeah, he's funny. He's got a good personality. I haven't really met anyone like him. Loves to dance more than anyone I've ever met, which Clemson's the perfect place for him. But I would say just once he, learns the offense more and develops and really fine tunes his skill set, he's gonna be a freak. And he already is, and he's made huge strides and he's doing really well. But I think in the coming years he's gonna be really, really good. I mean, you look at him, he's 6'4", probably 220, 225, and just keeps weight on easily. Doesn't even have to try. All muscle, can run, can jump, and he's starting to learn everything. And I mean, he's gonna be hard to handle once he figures it all out. And I think it's sooner than later.
Trevor, how about the other true freshman, EJ Williams? You had a couple nice first down completions early to him on Saturday. Are you developing a pretty good chemistry and rhythm with him?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, he was here in the spring, and started building that relationship then. And from there, he's just worked hard and kind of earned the opportunities that he's gotten. He's played well, so they're giving him more opportunities to play, and he continues to play well. So he's going to keep playing. So that's good to see. And then just his skill set, really shifty, great route runner, fast, just has a knack for the game, understands it, and he's going to be really good too. Obviously, he's already making an impact, but just really excited for those guys.
Hey, Trevor, it's Anna again. Last week, Georgia Tech's defensive coordinator was kind of talking about how y'all's offense is different this year than last year, and made a point to kind of say that getting Travis involved more in the passing game, because I guess you don't have T and Justin kind of making those back shoulder throws or catches on the perimeter. And that Tony Elliott said, they kind of took that as a challenge and challenged your wide receivers this week. I mean, how much of a role do you have in kind of challenging your receivers to step up and make, some of those more difficult contested catches and plays down the field?
Yeah, that's just something we work on, and Coach Sweeney has a big part in that too, just because he's, he was a wide receiver. He used to be a wide receivers coach. Still, that's kind of, his heart's there. He loves coaching wide receivers and and watching them in practice and seeing how they practice and prepare. And his thing is, if you get a hand on it, you should catch it. And obviously, as a quarterback, it's my job to put it in a good spot and give them a chance. And that's the thing that I feel like we're getting better at this year, is making those contested plays. And we've done a really good job of getting open, getting separation, making the plays. But we've taken some huge strides in making the contested plays. And I think against Georgia Tech, we did a really good job of that. And I guess for me, it's just my motivation is just like, I'm gonna be prepared. You guys don't need to worry about me. I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna put the ball as much as I can in the right spot. Like that's my job, and you guys can just try to handle the other end of that. And they've done a really good job ever since I've been here. The receivers have been great, and obviously as a quarterback, it's a huge weapon when your receivers can make those contested plays. But they're continuing to do a good job of that, and that's just kind of what's expected here.
Do you have time for one more question?
When Frank Ladson, go ahead.
Trevor, Greg Logan of Newsday again. I just wondered, you broke Deshaun Watson's high school records, and then you followed him at Clemson by a couple of years. Do you have any sort of relationship with him, and have you ever had the chance to just sort of pick his brain about what the adjustment was like for him going to the pros?
No, not really. I mean, we not really on picking his brain. I mean, we talk every now and then. I hadn't talked to him in a while, but obviously whenever I see him, we'll talk, catch up real quick. But I think he's also a good example of someone that's done things the right way. And obviously his whole career so far, he's done really well, and I think made a positive name for himself, more than just on the field, but off of it too. So really respect that, and just happened to kind of follow his footsteps, it seems. But Clemson's such a it's a great place, so it's understandable why he chose it, why I chose it, and why everybody else does. But yeah, I mean, we do have somewhat of a relationship, but haven't really picked his brain about football.
Anna, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I was just going to ask with Ladson. I know he's been a little inconsistent with the drop balls, and Dabo and Tony were both kind of saying it's a matter of repetition. Do you talk to him about that?
Not really. I mean, we all make mistakes. I missed a few throws on Saturday. He dropped a pass. It's obviously, I guess, gets more attention. As a quarterback, you get a lot of chances to throw the ball. So if you miss a throw or two, it's not as big a deal as a receiver dropping a pass, it seems. But we all make mistakes, got things we got to work on. But more so than saying something, just continuing to practice and we got some reps after practice with more than just him, a lot of the guys, but including him, and just continuing to work those things, build that chemistry, get on the same page, and we're going to get better for sure. Obviously, he's done a really good job of, he's had a big year of, creating separation, had some big plays, and just work on finishing some of those. But I know he'll get better at that for sure.